Ching, 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 ching. Drag you up at constant speed. Ching, 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 ching. When you get at the top, whoo, see all your friends down there? You get up the top, down you go. Here's the thing that impressed me. On that roller coaster ride, that guy with the thing there, that's the only control he had. Because once they're gone, he doesn't have a thing to do until they finally come back again. He's got to remember to pull that thing back so they stop so they don't get an extra ride. But I used to wonder, because sometimes, like on 4th of July weekends and on Labor Day weekends, there'd be lots of people at the beach and they have more than one set of cars at a time. Got about like 2 and 3 sets of cars at a time. And that guy, he was loading them up and letting them go down there as fast as he could. And he wasn't looking at any clock or anything. He wasn't waiting. He was just doing it. I said, what is this guy doing? He's going to be a terrible disaster here. And because I worried about this. Let's suppose one set of cars is loaded up with a whole lot of American Legion conventioneers or something, great big, robust, huge dudes from Texas or something, okay? And they take off, right? But let's suppose before they take off, there's a car loaded with a bunch of little Girl Scouts. Not Girl Scouts, like brownies, like 40, 50-pounders, down in the tunnel first. And these big dudes is following those little girls. Little girls squealing in the tunnel, okay? Yeah, thrill, huh? What's going to happen if, what happened? Here's the little girls coming up. And behind the little girls, all these heavy, heavy dudes, man, okay? And coming down, I'll just draw one set of cars like this. Little girl there, little girl. This little girl here is under the seat, because she's in front, okay? And following right down behind. Actually, there's a bunch of cars, yeah? I'll just draw one. And coming down behind, it's great big. Coming right down behind these little kids. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. And so this is Scouts Honor. And what I did, I'd go across the street, and I'd watch. And I'd watch for something like this to happen. And I stay all afternoon and watch. I'd go back, you know, several afternoons and watch. And, you know, I never saw a case of a very, very lightly loaded car followed by a very, very heavily loaded car. And so in my mind, the solution was, oh, I can see. It's so improbable that they just let that guy load him up as fast as they can, and the chances of it happening worth taking, and that's the end of the story. But it bothered me. It bothered me for years. And when I got into learning about physics and Newton's law, one reading, all of a sudden, boom, flash. I solved the problem. You see, the problem was I thought this is being pulled with a huge force. This is being pulled with a little force. These guys here are going to boom, bang into the kids. But I see it's okay. The little girls are all right. Do you see why the little girls are okay? They're not in danger. It's all right. Check your neighbor, see if your neighbor be knowing. There's a huge force pulling on these guys. There's only a little force pulling on the girls. Shouldn't the guys smack into the girls? Why not? What also do the big guys have besides gravity force? Begin with an M. Mass. Look at the mass of these dudes. It's going to take a big force to get them going. I mean, when an elephant falls off a cliff, you might think it'll just hang there. No, it's got a lot of weight, so it goes. Okay? 2 ideas going on, gang. How much force? How much resistance to motion by that force? Inertia, huh? And the little girls, not much force and not much mass. Turns out their acceleration down the incline is less than the acceleration of free fall. This is not free now. It's constrained with an incline. But they're both the same. And if you take away friction effects, they're exactly the same. And so they both go down the same. Everything is okay. Because you got to think about the amount of mass that's resistant to the effects of the force. Kind of neato? Sometimes it's nice when you have a question that burns, and later on you get the answer. Then you remember it. So far, gang, we've been talking about the ideal case of like no air drag, no air resistance. Let's talk about Newton's second law when we have air drag, air resistance. And we can do that by considering a parachute. Because a parachute, I mean, air drag is really, really important there, isn't it? And let's consider the parachutes just as we have in the text, the easiest case. You know why we're going to take the easiest case, gang? Because the easiest case is enough, okay? We're going to learn the easiest cases. Let's take the easiest case. We have a couple of parachutes, Coney Island style, that are both open and start falling together. Okay? But let's have unequal weights. Let's have one parachute like that, the other parachute like that. And this parachute over here is on a kind of a heavy dude here. And this parachute over here is on his little kid sister. Okay? And now they're both coming down. Very heavy, very light. I got a question for you. Which one hits the ground first? Check your neighbor. Through the air. Let me make it really easy. Through a vacuum. Which one hits the ground first? Vacuum. Same. Someone say, yeah, but this guy's a lot of heavy. You say, yeah, but you got a lot of mass. One effect takes care of the other, huh? But now, air resistance acts. Do you guys think the heavy one's going to hit first? Yeah. How many people say, I think with the air drag, the heavy one guy going to barrel through the air a lot better than the little girl? Show of hands. All right. Nice. Okay. As they fall, the air drag builds up. I'm going to put an arrow for air drag, and I put the arrow acting up. Why I put it up? Why I put this arrow down? Because weight always acts which way? Begin with a D. Down, okay. And the drag, a resistance force, will always be in a direction to oppose motion. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So you're coming down through the air, and the air kind of drags behind, and you're pulling. See? So it's a tug of war between this and this. And let's suppose these are both going the same speed. And I have this one about like that, okay? But let's suppose this over here, let's suppose this is like 400. And let's suppose the girl here is like 150, okay? Let's suppose the air drag here is 100. I got a question for you. Are both of these people at this instant undergoing acceleration? Check your neighbor. Do you know enough physics to say yes or no? Check. How many people say, you know what? They're both accelerating. I ain't going to say they're accelerating the same, but they're both accelerating. Show of hands. Most of the class, good. And how do you know? Because there's a net force. And if you got a net, what's the rule? If you got a net force, there's an acceleration. So look at that. They're both accelerating. Now, as they go faster and faster, what happened to the resistance? Bigger or stay the same? The air drag depends on two things, gang. It depends on how big the thing is, how much air is plowing through, and how fast it's going. You're in the car. You're driving the car. Or your friend's driving the car. You're going 20 kilometers per hour. You stick your head out the window. Feel the air drag? Now the friend's going 50 kilometers per hour. You stick your head out the window. More or less. Now your friend's going 100 kilometers per hour. You stick your head out the window. What do you get? Dandruff job, right? I mean, that air resistance really builds up. The faster you go, the more the resistance, yeah? Okay, so these people are both going to go faster? How do you know they're both going to go faster? Because they're both accelerating, okay? Now they go faster until the air drag builds up to. I'm making these both pick up the speed the same. I'm really oversimplifying, gang, just to give you the idea. Now they're going so fast that the air drag builds up to 150. I got a question for you. Do they both continue to accelerate? And the answer begins with an N. Okay? Now, which one ain't accelerating anymore? Why the little girl? What's the net force on the little girl? Zero. What's the acceleration of the little girl? Zero. That means the little girl goes, hangs at rest, right? Does zero acceleration mean not moving? No. Zero acceleration means not changing how you is moving, okay? So she continued down, steady. Let's suppose right now she's going maybe 30 kilometers per hour. 30 kilometers per hour at this point. Wait a couple of seconds later. How fast is she going? 30 kilometers per hour. How about the dude? He's going faster. He's going faster. He's picking up. She stopped picking up. What's the 50-cent word for stop? Terminate. Her acceleration has terminated. She says, I have reached my terminal velocity. I'm going so fast that the air drag against me, honey, exactly equal to gravity pulling down, it's a wash. The net force on me is 0, so I go steady, 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 all the way down with no acceleration at all. Ain't that neat? Is that understandable? Yeah, it kind of holds together, doesn't it? You can see that. You go outside with your friends. You see a leaf fall off the tree. The leaf just kind of floats down, no acceleration. You say to your friend, you know what? I know how big the air drag is in that leaf compared to its weight. And your friend say, you know that? And I say, I do. And what is it? Check the neighbor. I say, I don't know what the hell the air drag in the leaf is. How I be knowing? Come on, what is it? See if you're sitting next to someone don't know. How many say, hey, believe it or not, Hewitt, everything you said, this person here don't know the answer. Put up the hand. Go like this to the person. Really? Really? Okay. Hey, we all get this stuff, huh? All right. Okay, gang, so far we've talked about Newton's first law, yeah? And today we talk about Newton's second law. Guess what we're going to be talking about next Wednesday? Newton's third law, all right? Get this stuff down. I'll see you next Wednesday. Yay.